Good evening, Ms. D'Alosio. Tonight we're going to be discussing a little bit about what K-Squared Financial Investments can do for you and maximize your $20 million portfolio. So before we jump in, I'd like to take a moment and introduce ourselves. I'm Kevin Patel, and today here with me is Kevin Sousa. I was actually the founder of K-Squared Financial Investments back in 1999 with Kevin, with a passion for financial investments. I was actually also the youngest person with a financial degree with a perfect GPA at the age of 14 to graduate from, yes, that's right, Harvard University up in Boston. So Kevin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
How's it going, Ms. D'Alosio? Kevin Sousa. I'm the head of accounts at K-Squared Financial. I went to law school, graduated at Yale University. My true passion in life is bringing the highest level of customer service to all of our clients, which happen to be Fortune 500 clients.
Now, a little bit about us. We had actually founded K-Squared Financial Investments back in 1999. Ever since then, we have been working side by side with a wide range of many Fortune 500 clients, providing world-class solution services and portfolio management. Now here we have a brief overview of how we will be utilizing $20 million in this upcoming year in investments. As you can see, we do have some investments including the bank and financial sector, information and technology, healthcare, consumer staples, utilities. We'll get a little bit into the energy and telecommunications a little bit later on. But as you can see, we have near full utilization and have exactly a 10% growth in your portfolio. Now I'm going to jump into the banking and financials to show you a little bit about how we're doing it. Now, Ms. D'Alosio, I understand you wanted to see an investment of at least $3 million in the banking and financial sector. And here's our plan. It's actually a very good idea to invest in this banking and financial sector. Recently, President Donald Trump had passed a law regulating mortgage fees and rates, and foreclosures are at an all-time historical low, with the banking and financial sector seeing tremendous growth with many new homeowners. Market research has actually revealed that Citigroup was best prepared and staffed with an experienced team to assist this large influx in the new home buyers, and JP Morgan in a close second. As you can see, we have actually planned on purchasing 44,000 shares of Citigroup and 13,300 of JP Morgan. Combined, these will be the large lump sum of your financial growth, about $191,000. As you can see, in both the Citizens and Bank of America, we have actually utilized only 2 in Citizens and no investment shares in Bank of America. The driving force behind this is actually both of these banks are currently in a lawsuit trying to overthrow this new ruling regulating the mortgage fees and rates, and found it wouldn't be a viable solution. Another thing here to note is, with a Bank of America price per share only at $40, it actually yields no dividends. So our money invested in Bank of America was giving no returns. So we decided to go ahead and not invest any shares into Bank of America. Now moving right along, we're going to go to the information and technology sector. This is actually going to be a large percentage of your portfolio and where a lot of the growth is coming from. As you can see, our total investments yield just shy of $9 million at $8.9 million, with a return on investment of approximately $10.3 million. Total contribution to this portfolio has been $1.3 million with an overall 14.58% growth. Now, a little bit about where the money is going. Now, we had noticed recently Apple had launched a new iOS suite for businesses, offering a more fluid integration with other devices. And we had actually seen the keynote services done, and they had a very well response from a lot of the keynote attendants. With this, we also saw that the prices of Apple shares historically has gone up with many of their new groundbreaking keynotes. Because of this, we had invested nearly 100,000 in shares into Apple, and it actually returned just shy of $1.2 million at $1,196,000. Second runner was Samsung Electronics. Now, they had also released a really great lineup of Samsung devices, exclusively in their virtual reality department. Because of this, we invested in 3,334 shares, which gained us a profit of $62,000. Lastly, a driving force behind both of these companies was Foxconn. Foxconn has actually made many strides to become present in a lot of these new groundbreaking technologies. They actually are related to making the components that power these electronics. We decided to invest in 5,000 shares, giving us a $50,000 return on investment. Now, as you can see, we had invested at least $500,000 in the information and technology sectors. Foxconn and Samsung Electronics came in at exactly $500,000, where Apple had taken large percentages of the shares. And one last final note here is the investment in the information and technology sector was more than 2 times the combination of the consumer goods and utility sector.
Now we move into the healthcare sector. As you can see, we invested just over $4 million, as you asked. We invested most of the money in the Johnson & Johnson company, the reason being that they have just finalized over 250 patents for a new groundbreaking drug delivery system for cancer patients. Bayer saw 3 shares, and the reason being is because they just signed with a new advertising company, and their new marketing campaign promises that it will increase their sales revenue. Amgen saw no shares because of a recent FDA violation and federal investigation. Believe me, I'm a lawyer. You don't want to get involved in any of that. So $4 million invested, and we saw a little bit under $400,000 in return for a 10% growth in the healthcare sector. Moving into the consumer staple section of your portfolio, we saw that we should invest 1 share in Walmart. The reason being is because Walmart has just introduced a new line of organic food, which is all the rage these days. Stop and Shop and Piggly Wiggly, on the other hand, have had a hard economic recovery, and we saw no potential in investing in those stocks. Simply put, your money would be better spent elsewhere. With that 1 share of Walmart, we saw 15% growth in the consumer staples section of your portfolio. Moving into the utility sector of your portfolio, we decided to invest all of the money in National Grid. The reason being is because they've made strides in groundbreaking renewable energy source. On the other hand, AmeriGas has had many EPA violations this year, and they are facing many days in front of a judge in a courtroom. We invested a little bit over $4 million in this section of your portfolio and saw a return of $162,000 for an increase of 4%. Finally, we move into the energy and telecom sector of your portfolio. You may be surprised to see that we invested no money in this section. That being because with the given constraints of 10,000 shares, we saw that there was really no upward mobility or optimal growth in this section of the portfolio, and we believe that your investments would be better spent elsewhere.